but BigJhonson and Malignant Auto managed to make it to losers finals where they're going to be fighting Motz and BrianYi. This should be a good set, right? Like earlier we saw, right? Earlier in winter semis, right, they got 3-0'd by Motz and BrianYi. But they've had a little bit of time to cook, right? They beat Ares and Moises, and they just beat Musty and Musty Nobody and Dorian, right? They've had a lot of time to kind of just like focus in as a team.
Sure.
We saw Malignant Auto and BigJhonson both living to absurd percents that they weren't really living to in their upper set.
Right.
So hopefully we're gonna see that kind of translate over to this set, and we're gonna have another close set from both teams.
I'm trying to think about that set in my mind. We've seen so many other sets. I'm trying to like reimagine it. Why was that set so dominant?
It was honestly just BrianYi and Motz just killing them on cooldown. Malignant Auto, I think, died twice, like a minute and a half in, like 2 different games in a row. But honestly, it's really just gonna come down to how long they can all live, right?
Sure.
For me, that's like the big deciding factor in this game, more than kind of a lot of other things. It's just how long each team can kind of take it as we go into this game number 1.
Our game 1 on the way. Motz and BrianYi, when they get it going, man, they do not stop. Took it 3-0 last time this squad faced off against one another, but we'll see what the case ends up being here. Already in neutral, you see them trying to get together. Auto does a good job of kind of breaking that up early, but still, it's a lot of work to be done. A rage kick for BrianYi, just throwing them out today. It feels like, and more often than not, they're converted.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, the Malignant Auto
one.
Oh my gosh,
straight into the up air. That's huge.
Yeah, he was at 40%, right? And they managed to take that stock so confidently. And I mean, here, Red Team has a great chance to kind of bring this back if they can land the follow-ups they need to. Good up special from Johnson. And potentially a reversal from Brian. Doesn't manage to get it. He should die here. He's at 100% in the blast zone and burnout, but he just lives somehow. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, Motz looking to ladder. He's got both of them connected. We know the kill power for both of these guys up high is so great. It's going to be a look early off of the Nair. Now they just got to find Auto sitting at 100% already.
Yeah, they're in such a dangerous spot. I mean, like, how do you make it back, man? You have to kill Brian probably twice, realistically, to win this game. And he's already at 160 this stock.
Sandwich barely catching ledge there. That was looking dangerous as well. It's hammer out yet again for Motz. He's going to grab one off of the package. Not quite enough to finish anything there. Brian, he surprisingly charged rage there. I could have popped out an up air. Ends up taking a stock away from himself instead. But instantly going to trade it back to the direction. All good, no worries. Motz and BrianYi up 1.
Yeah, already a dominant game number 1 coming in for Motz and Brian, right? Like the extremely early kill on Malignant Auto at 40% from a burnout combo. BigJhonson dying super early just from the overwhelmed potential of a Harley Shaggy comp. And this is kind of giving flashbacks of their upper semi set.
Yeah.
And I hope they can really just turn it around. We do have a swap back to lobby, which is interesting. It could be something like a character swap, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna end up seeing what change is occurring, right? Are they switching perks? Do they want to switch characters? What kind of swap are they making?
I'm trying to think of what the swap even would be at this point in time.
All I'm saying is that BigJhonson has a Marvin that cooks, and you have an opportunity in this tournament to play it.
No, what a read! What a read!
Let's go! Oh.
All right. How well seasoned is the Marvin though?
Look, all I'm saying is that one of the devs, Chavo, ran into BigJhonson, and BigJhonson dropped 300 damage on him with 3 kills and called him the GOAT. So all I'm gonna say is that this could be an absolute masterclass of Marvin gameplay.
Well, you certainly would hope so. If you are a fan of the red team, they gotta pull something out. You know, I asked why was the first set so dominant. Game 1 told me my answer. Certainly going to need to see something juicy from the Marvin. It'll handle projectile, but from there, man, it's going to be tricky, especially against like players that can move quick, I think it's
Especially
hard for
against a
Marvin to
jungle
get
comp.
value.
Yeah, I guess jungle comp and a rushdown comp, it can be so dangerous, right? But already we kind of see a lot more even on the 1v1s for both teams, right? Even though I think blue team is pretty firmly in the advantage. Okay, it's not that close. No, not another early kill. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Oh, a potential reversal.
That's nice.
It doesn't manage to really get anything from it. I don't know. Wait, the combo from BigJhonson? Okay. Jab 2 into that button into a jab follow-up. I mean, it's nice. Like you can see like there's Marvin value being gained. But Marvin is a light character. Motz gets that follow-up. Wow, dude, he's so aware. Just the awareness from the blue team, right? Whenever they're so poised to really take advantage of each other's combos. Yeah, I mean, even though the swap happened, I mean, it still feels just as dominant. They haven't really taken a stock here. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, good up air, come there for BigJhonson, just no one there to really capitalize on it. That's going to be another free rage charge for BrianYi. He's been so good to convert. That one was looking to go cross stage, couldn't quite find it. It's Harley to float in the blast zone yet again while BrianYi continues to bring down damage off of these jabs. It's double chainsaw. They're both so high percent. You can't let them back to stage here. Certainly not. But they're going to walk themselves right back onto stage, back into neutral again. That up air somehow doesn't kill from the Marvin. Motz does go down. BrianYi looked to charge rage as bait. Whole fall 2. So they got something back in their favor.
Can I just say that the Marvin up special did not kill Shaggy at 170%?
Like, what is that?
Like, this poor character, man. This poor character. Anyways, it was technically closer than their game number 1. But once again, just absolute dominance from BrianYi and Motz. And yeah, we see another return to lobby.
Just ridiculous, dude. Well, I mean, I'll give it to you, right? Like that jab combo in neutral looked pretty good from BigJhonson. Yeah. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a good Marvin. I'm just saying Marvin might not have a good meta.
Marvin might have a good meta.
It might be the other way around.
Yeah, definitely. There's some bigger problem. Like you could see here the difference in kill power, the difference in pressure in neutral, right? His projectiles, just his setup tools, they're just not good enough to really get the neutral victories that you kind of want to see from a projectile character into like a comp like Harley and Shaggy. And yeah, we see BigJhonson putting the Marvin back away, taking back out the Garnet. He's like, yeah, it was a cool idea, but that's all it's going to end up being this tournament. All right, game number 3. Can they get these early advantages, right? Like here we're seeing it again, right? Where they just don't have like the same level of like start, you know, like that Shaggy Harley is able to have. But I mean, an early team combo could be everything.
It's really just the way these guys are so locked in with one another. Just this consistent nair into Brian. Brian will kick or knee one back. Like they're doing so good about getting big damage options and then just sending their opponent, they're juggling directly back into it. It's been so difficult, but it is going to be that first stock picked up. Auto will convert one, looking for another, and they get it. Picked up by
the gauntlet into the on cooldown side special was so smart from BigJhonson there to secure that kill. And for the first time in their entire set, and their entire winner set, we see Malignant Auto and BigJhonson in a pretty comfortable lead. They're going for the ladders. Stripe misses the follow-up, but I mean, Garnet gets the double up special there, right? I mean, they're in such a good spot right now. Misses the down air on Malignant Auto, and he gets reversed. No, wait, that's how you lose it. Oh gosh. I mean, wow. Okay, but BigJhonson answering with a reversal of their own. I mean, Harley already at 110%, and Harley is tied for the lightest character in the game. I mean, you have such early kill percents, right?
And Brian still getting stack damage as well, already up to 90. It's looking very favorable if you are the red team. Both players getting caught here off of stage. The ledge guard not quite strong enough. They both make it back to neutral. BigJhonson gonna get caught by a hammer. Does manage to stay alive though, but both players off stage.
I mean, it's getting okay. There we are. Yeah, BigJhonson securing it with an up special. Or with an up air, did so well that game. Really well played by Malignant Auto and Johnson. Honestly, they just started winning their 1v1s like a lot more. Like games 1 and 2, they were kind of getting tossed around a little bit in the 1v1s, but there you see them like able to kind of get some leads, some advantages. Malignant Auto getting an early kill. and just being able to kind of secure these games that we want to see. All right, and going into game number 4 here on both teams, I think they're both kind of looking to, I mean, I think if you're Motz and Brian, you want to stop all their momentum. You can't let them get another game, or else things get really scary. Brian getting a charge off at the very start of the game, gets another charge hit. I mean, BigJhonson's already at 70% with Brian only being at 19 himself. Motz is at 90 though, and killing Harley 3 times is a definite win condition if you're a red team here. All right.
For that ledge guard, it is going to be a walk back to stage here for the red team. Auto going to start to put them both in the jab combo. Gunshots there as well on Motz to go high. Somehow, though, still kicking it.
I kind of wish that Malignant Auto saved those gunshots more for the follow-ups, right? Using them to secure that 140 on Harley isn't that big of a deal since she's already at kill percent before it, right? But now you're missing out a lot of that follow-up potential. Gonna end up not mattering too much here, but they're in a pretty rough, they're not in the best spot going into this. All right, tries to get the kickflip on Harley, a little cheeky kickflip, isn't able to really get anything going. BrianYi at 90% here. If you're the right team, you really need to kill him soon, right? You can't let him live for too long, especially when Malignant Auto has just died on his side.
Brian to work back towards stage, fight in neutral. Auto able to utilize his gray health to just really take it to them early. That puts him into Johnson as well. So great job of just daring them down and letting the tank put in work. Unfortunately, though, they do get sent right back off stage. Yeah,
and BrianYi just running away to the other side, getting another charge in this game. Like, he's gotten so many charges this entire set where it's just like, how do you deal with this? If the Shaggy's getting the 7th charge of the match and you can't stop him, and he's getting hits almost every other rage, it's like, what do you do? But already, I think he's getting a little bit greedy in these charges. He's taking 50% for going for a charge of this this stock already. And that's like, he is the lose con. If he dies, they lose, right? So you're really going to want to see on the side of blue team, Brian needs to be able to live in these neutral scenarios. But BigJhonson going for a jab mix-up, actually waiting for BrianYi to do a hasty dodge and get a follow-up on the down tilt. Out of the, he's waiting at 112%. He needs to be able to live. I mean, gets the gun, gets the target on Shaggy, doesn't opt to go for the shots. How does he get anything going? BigJhonson actually getting a really early kill of his own. This could be everything. I mean, right now, Malignant Auto just has to run from the Shaggy. They have to kill Motz here.
Oh, this neutral gonna be so interesting.
Oh, he's in burnout.
Really risking it all.
Wow.
Isn't able to convert.
My gosh.
And somehow, some way, we went from spiraling 2 games to a game 5.
Dude, okay, Malignant Auto going all the way off stage at 130% in burnout to try and get an early kill on Motz, missing it. Both players of the other team missed their follow-ups, and then immediately after and then BigJhonson gets the follow-up. Is it crazy? Like, that is absurd levels of trust in your teammate and just like going for it. Like, that is unreal in a game number 4. In your tournament life, tournament stock going for that. All right.
A high risk, high reward at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Managing to keep it cooking. They managed to make it here to game 5 of what was a 3-0 in the upper set. Can they convert it all the way to a shot yet again at the Grant?
Yeah. All right. I mean, here, like, BrianYi, once again, the lowest damage play in the lobby.
Dodge.
Not after the Shaggy sandwich, but Malignant Auto really needs to be making this stock last as long as possible, but it's just not possible.
That's a really good combo from these guys on the ground. They're just so good at getting together. Like, they play so well just as teammates. That's going to be a trade of stocks.
The Garnet naring on top of Shaggy into the Shaggy, beating it with his sidekick is so funny to me. BigJhonson needed to let it go a half second earlier, but he just wasn't able to. And the team combos for blue team are just so dangerous. They're getting so much damage with this snowball effect stack. And red team just isn't really able to deal with it in the way that they need to.
Oh, Motz struggling to make it back, is going to do so now. Brian just coming out of burnout, so going to have to take the first hit of that. But yet again, it's just Brian chilling, charging rage. He has so many rage charges in this series. Motz going to pick up the up air. This is looking dire.
Yikes, it's over.
There is enough to do it. It's Motz and BrianYi yet again to take it. It's 3-2, and they're moving up in the upper bracket.
Yeah. I mean, that was a minute and a half game, and it definitely felt like it. It was so fast paced, right? I think Malignant, Otto, and Johnson, right, over the last like 3 games, you really saw them like kind of hold their own in the ones really well, if not do better in the ones. But that game number 3 was kind of back to the previous set, back to games number 1 and 2, where they were just kind of losing neutral. And then instead of like focusing down on like pressuring BrianYi, they were just kind of letting him get free charges and getting free pressure. It's kind of a baffling way to play, especially when the past 2 games they played against it so well. But I mean, sometimes the pressure just gets to you. And I felt like there it kind of got to them a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. You know, a hard-fought set, so much so that we see them sit in lobby, make decisions on what are they going to come out with. But, you know, it does start to convert. It looks a lot better. Maybe so. Just that Marvin coming out as like a, you know, it could always be worse. It's like the got to see the ball go through the hoop analogy, but in reverse. Like sometimes you got to see the ball miss to know that it could be even worse if you played somebody else.
Just confidence try it for a game, and then you realize,
wow, this is even worse. Really maybe my character's good.
Yeah, and then they like go back to the Garnet, like starts picking up momentum. In the end, you know, BrianYi and Motz are just gonna clutch it out, right? Like at the end of the day, they just played really stellar. Games 1, 2, and 5, they just looked like the more dominant team. They had better follow-ups, better neutral wins, you know, better characters. No,
well.